Chris Mellon says the government is still keeping secrets from us about UFOs. Let's talk about that and a whole bunch else today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, Chris Mellon says our government has made significant progress concerning UAP in recent years. It now acknowledges that UAP are real, well, kind of, and has established an office dedicated to receiving reports of UAP and studying the phenomenon. However, as this article so aptly illustrates, the long-standing pattern of government agencies withholding information about UAP from Congress and the public still persists. And he links to this article from The Hill. The Pentagon's new historical review of UFOs picks and chooses its history. The Department of Defense report released March 8th demonstrates that a 7-decade-long trend of official obfuscation and deflection on UAP continues unabated. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office's report, a congressionally mandated historical review of U.S. government involvement with UAP, found no evidence of ET technology. While that may be technically accurate, the Pentagon's lengthy report deliberately obscures a critical fact. Official records and public reporting are littered with evidence of unknown craft exhibiting what appears to be extraordinary technology. And it goes on, but yeah, so we have at least a few major publications now that are talking about the lies in the misrepresentations in the Arrow report. And that's very significant because originally, Arrow in the Pentagon had handpicked, a select group of journalists to spread their propaganda of disinformation about UFOs. But not everybody took that bait, and some of them, like The Hill, are actively pointing out the misrepresentations in that historical review. So good for them. Ross Coulthart also links to this article. He says the Pentagon's UAP historical report deliberately obscures a critical fact, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, so both Ross and Chris are sticking up for this report. So, good for The Hill. Meanwhile, Brown Dwarf, the UFO channel Brown Dwarf, shows a compilation of dragon UFOs. And this is pretty great. Here's just one clip showing this one aircraft being tagged multiple times by apparently different dragon UFOs. Check it out. There's one. There's another one, I think. There's another one. There's another one. Now, those don't appear to be birds or anything. They seem to be sharing the same airspace as that plane, and they are going super fast. They are going super fast, guys. Here, I'll play that again. Just look how fast these objects are moving. Look, yeah, there's one, there's another one. They're just all over the place. So, yeah, a great capture from Brown Dwarf sent to me by Dr. Robert Shipe, who has pioneered the research into these tiny UFOs that buzz airborne objects. Meanwhile, from the New York Post, UFO truthers converge on Chuck Schumer's New York office to celebrate humankind's ET moment. UFO truthers, not sure if I really like truthers, declared humankind's ET moment as they rallied outside U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer's New York City office on Thursday to celebrate efforts to prove the phenomena aren't a hoax. Believers landed on 3rd Avenue outside the Democratic Senate leader's office, saying they were over the moon. Believers landed over the moon. Over his efforts to push UFO disclosure legislation through Capitol Hill last year, as many attendees recounted their own stories of run-ins with the unexplained. It's an extraordinary moment. Humanity is entering its ET moment, said 74-year-old Dr. Jim Garrison, a director at the UFO advocacy group New Paradigm Institute. The ET phenomenon is real, he told the Post. That's what's so important about Schumer's leadership. So there you go. I reported on this rally that was supposed to be taking place the other day, and there it is. Thank you, Senator. There we go. And you got to give the man props. If not for Schumer, we wouldn't have the Schumer Rounds Amendment. Now, hopefully, it'll get some teeth put back into it. Although I still debate about the whole eminent domain thing. The government has been keeping this secret for so long. Do we really want them to be able to seize stuff from private individuals that may have stuff that could provide disclosure? Now, for sure, Lockheed Martin and Boeing and the private contractors probably aren't going to provide any sort of disclosure because they're just as bad as the government and they're totally embedded in the government. But somebody like Brandon Fugel, if they find a UFO on Skinwalker Ranch, I think he should be allowed to keep it and to do whatever he wants with it. He could get 3 seasons out of that thing. I'm not 100% sure about eminent domain. I have big questions about that. But we do need, at the very least, I think we need a select committee with a subpoena power. And, we definitely need an active body in government that has some teeth, some muscle. They can get stuff done, pushing the ball forward, whatever form that takes. So, anyway, moving on. Here's another great UFO from John Bell. Check it out. This is just amazing. It's huge. Here, I'll let him there. Look at that.
We fit. Look at the energy coming off of that. He's directly over my head right now. What's up there, buddy? Well, come on down. I ain't scared. Ain't bothering me none. I had about 5,000 of you in the yard Wednesday, so yeah, that's cool. That's so bad.
That is very cool, John. And yeah, go check it out his channel, Real Florida UFO, to see a whole bunch of videos of UFOs that reveal themselves to John. Meanwhile, artificial muscle has arrived. Check it out. That's just wild. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. Look at that. So we've got robots, we've got AI, now we've got artificial muscle. You can kind of see it moving. And to me, it looks just like a bunch of wires and stuff. But apparently there's artificial muscle. So, that's wild. It's cool, but it's creepy. Let me know if you're more optimistic or more terrified. Meanwhile, we found Quetzalcoatl. Check it out. It's the feathered serpent, guys. It's the feathered serpent. He's real. And he's a cobra? What? They don't have cobras in South America or Central America. Yeah, but look at that. It's the feathered serpent. That's crazy. What the hell? What the hell, guys? Meanwhile, Angel from the Las Vegas alien encounter gives us an update.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Angel. I had a crazy experience in my backyard. I think everybody knows about it. And we got to start uploading more. And I'm sorry I couldn't keep you guys, up posted and stuff like that. But follow and subscribe because we got to be posting a lot of stuff, vlogs and stuff like that. And, I hope you guys enjoy it. And thanks to everybody again that supported me and my family and praying for us. Thank you very much.
So there you go. Even though the Las Vegas family that had this crazy encounter, even though they've kind of gone radio silent in recent months, it looks like they're going to come back and they're going to be posting more stuff. Do they have more photos or videos of that particular encounter that they're going to share? Or is it just witness testimony? Is it just their thoughts on what happened? Maybe they've had some professionals examine the photos and the video and do enhancements on them and stuff like that. I would love to see that. So, time will tell what's in store for us with new information from Angel and his family, but it does look like it's coming. Meanwhile, from Gonzalo Chavez, he says, in Peru, the Archaeology Institute that's finding the bodies, the Nazca mummies, states that he is being told by local indigenous tribes in the Andes that they are creatures that come from underground in the mountains. I believe George Knapp calls that the crypto-terrestrial. So yeah, there you go. Are there living beings? Are there living Nazca mummy type beings? Is this a species, a race that is still around today? That Siberian, or yeah, I think it was Russian or Siberian alien that I've shown before. Could that have been one of these? Because people have examined the two different bodies and found similarities, not just in size and general appearance, but also in the three holes on their cheeks. Very interesting, very interesting. So yeah, time will tell if they want to come out and play. And maybe they don't want to come out and play. Maybe we're not very good playmates. Hey, don't blame them. But yeah, the local people apparently of that region are saying they are alive and well in the caves in mountains. Meanwhile, I talked about Dan Sherman the other day and the Project Preserve Destiny story, a really fascinating story. Who knows how much of that is true? All our information about it is coming from Dan. So, we definitely need corroboration on this idea, on this story. But one thing I've always been intrigued by in alien abduction research is that sometimes government officials and military people will be present during these abductions. Well, Dan gives us an idea about why this might be. So I thought it was worth listening to him. So let's check out what he has to say.
The project itself had kicked off in, I believe he said 1961.
All right.
And they started to abduct human females for testing for this genetic procedure that they were going to conduct. And when I say they, it was a joint project with the alien race, whatever you want to call it, and the American government. And
So let me just interrupt you there, Dan. So they were abducting human women to see if they had certain genetic characteristics to be chosen to then give birth to
yes,
you.
yes.
And you said it was joint, so you think that, because you describe it as a military abduction, so it's not necessarily military, it's a joint thing. So do you think it's the alien technology that was being used for the abduction rather than the military technology?
Oh yeah, I think, let me back up here. The actual abductions themselves were conducted by the aliens.
Right.
And the procedures were done by the aliens. I say it was in conjunction with the military because the military knew about it and they were,
right.
They were...
Right, and this captain, he told you all this in this first meeting?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
Okay.
And so my mother was one of the chosen targets, or whatever you want to call it.
To interrupt you again, and did he say what this specific genetic thing was that they were looking
No,
for?
no.
Right, okay.
No.
So yeah, there you go. There's one idea. He says that the military and government types weren't actually abducting. It was the beings that were abducting, but the government knew about it, and presumably from the various experience or accounts out there that see government and military types involved in the procedures that are done or there when they are done. Then, if any of that has to do with Project Preserve Destiny, then the humans were involved, at least at that level. So, who knows if Dan's information is on the level. I mean, it sounds like something that might happen. I mean, who knows, guys? Who knows? But yeah, they were tweaking genetics so that they could produce highly telepathic individuals to, participate in this Project Preserve Destiny. So when, our electric grid fails or whatever, we can stay connected through these telepaths. Something like that. That's the basic general idea that I get. And I haven't read Dan's book. If you've read his book, let me know more details about that. And Dan was, groomed to be part of that project and then ultimately didn't, I believe is the idea. But yeah, really interesting if that is what is going on. Very disturbing. Obviously, any abductions and, tweaking of unwilling participants is terrifying and horrifying. And also equally horrifying, this apocalyptic event that may result in the catastrophe where we need these telepaths to keep us in contact with each other. Who knows, guys? Who knows? This is, again, just one man saying this. We don't have any corroboration for any of this. So, take it with a huge grain of salt. If any of you have seen corroboration for Dan Sherman's story, let me know. Let me know. But it's important to keep in mind, potentially, that David Grush has alluded to humans being in contact with the beings, as well as Tim Gallaudet has stated that very directly. Ross Coulthart asked David Grush, have we made agreements with non-human intelligences? And Grush said, indirectly, that's the kind of information I really hope national leadership is able to get to the bottom of. So, obviously he's not saying it happened, but he's kind of seeming to indicate he can't talk about it, and that's the sort of information that we need to have. So, we do. We need to have that information, Dave. We absolutely do. So does that have anything to do with Project Preserve Destiny, or is that a completely separate affair? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Last but not least, Joey Is Not My Name gives us an update and some additional thoughts on the Michael Herrera situation. He says, I previously stated that Michael had to sign a document acknowledging the statute 18 U.S.C. 1001, which threatened fines and imprisonment if he lied in his testimony to Arrow. I just realized it was not a form he had to sign. It was a verbal legal advisement that was recited to him in the skiff immediately prior to his testimony, where he had to answer verbally in the affirmative to each of the several questions asked. A copy was provided to him prior to his trip to D.C. so his lawyer could review it. I have been provided a copy, Joey says. Or not Joey. Michael has also told me his testimony was not recorded. Of the people in attendance who received his testimony, a few had notepads and made handwritten notes. If this is true, this means there are no transcripts, no paper trail, nothing to FOIA regarding his testimony. The one thing I am aware of that he had to sign was a boilerplate NDA protecting any classified information. This could explain why his testimony was misrepresented in the Arrow report. They literally don't have a transcript, and we're working off of memory and chicken scratch to summarize it. Michael never called it an ET craft, and he never referred to them as U.S. Special Forces. So, there you go. Arrow either being deliberately sloppy or, well, I don't even know how else you could read that. Arrow being deliberately sloppy so they don't have to tell the truth about Michael Herrera's information. And of course, if they've done that with Michael Herrera, they've probably done that with everybody. Arrow is a joke. They are a blue book. It's just, not even a blue book. They're worse than blue book. Blue Book at least said that something like, I'm going to get the percentage wrong, but something like 8% of sightings were unaccounted for or that remained mysterious. Arrow, in that report, basically said there is no such thing as UFOs, that all sightings could be explained by mundane reasons, and the few that couldn't, that's only because we didn't have enough censored data. If we only had the right censors during the Nimitz incident or whatever, we could have explained that away. It was a seagull, guys. It was a seagull. So, that's the Arrow is worse than Blue Book. It really is. Anyway, so that's my rant on Arrow, but really interesting about Michael Herrera's testimony to Arrow. So good job, Joey Is Not My Name. Let me know what you guys think about that and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.